So our first function is given to us in vertex form, which is how we want our equation set up. So we'll set the output equal to 0. We're going to add 150 to each side, working backwards. Divide by my a value of 2. Then I'm going to take the square root of each side to undo squaring. Have x plus 7, and the square root of 75 can be simplified as 5 square roots of 3. Remember, when we take the square root of each side, there are two answers, a positive and a negative. So my two zeros are 5 square roots of 3 minus 7 and negative 5 square roots of 3 minus 7. The second function is also given to us in vertex form. So to find the zeros, set the output equal to 0. First, subtract 49 on each side, and then we'll multiply each side by 2 to get rid of that 1/2. And I notice I made a mistake here. I'm supposed to be multiplying by negative 2 on each side, so that's going to change my sign. No problem though. When I take the square root of 98, I'm going to get two answers, a positive and a negative, and 98 is 2 times 49. So plus and minus 7 square roots of 2. I write my positive answer and my negative answer and add 1 to each side. So my two zeros are 7 square roots of 2 plus 1 and negative 7 square roots of 2 plus 1. The next few, they're given to us in standard form. So our first step is going to be completing the square. I'm going to start off by grouping my first two terms, and I know I need my a value to be 1, so I factor out that 1/2, which makes my b term negative 8. I split up negative 8 into negative 4x and negative 4x. I realize I have to add 16 to both, 16 to complete the square. So I'll add 16 in my group, and I'll also subtract 16 times negative 1/2, not forgetting not to multiply by my a value. So that simplifies to negative 1/2 times the group x minus 4 squared, and the end of that all simplifies to minus 10. So now I need to set f of x equal to 0, now that I have it in vertex form, and I'll add 10 to each side, and then I get negative 1/2 times the group x minus 4 squared times by negative 2 to get rid of that negative 1/2. And I have negative 20 equals the group x minus 4 squared. Just checking my work here. Something's bothering me, but I will show you what that is right now. When I go to take the square root, on the right hand side, can't take the square root of a negative number. That's not a real number. So if I look at my function up here, I know this moves the function, the parent function, to the right 4 and down 10, and my a value is negative, which means, oh yeah, there are no zeros. So when you wind up with a square root or taking the square root of a negative number, that's going to tell us that we aren't going to have any real zeros, any real number zeros. On to my next problem. Again, I have a standard form, so I'll group my first two terms. I need my a value to be 1. Use my little diagram, split 4x into 2x and 2x, and I realize I need to add 4. So I add 4 inside the group, and then I subtract 4 outside the group twice, again due to my a value there. So this can be rewritten as 2 times the group x plus 2 squared, and that all works out to be, let's see, minus 40. So now I'm in vertex form. Set my output equal to 0, since I'm trying to find zeros. Add 40 to each side, and divide by 2. 20 equals x plus 2 squared. Take the square root of each side, and the square root of 20 is 4 times 5, so that's 2 square roots of 5. I get two answers here, and I'll subtract 2 on each side here. So my final zeros are 2 square roots of 5 minus 2 and negative 2 square roots of 5 minus 2. Last standard form. Again, need to complete the square to rewrite it in vertex form. I need my a value to be 1. Factor out the 9. So I wrote it as 12 over 9. I know when I redistribute the 9, I get back the line above me, and I just simplified 12/9 there as 4/3. So if I have 4/3 x and I cut 4/3 in half, well, that gives me 2/3 and 2/3. So I'm sorry, that's all negative, but I realize I need to add 4/9 to that square to complete the square. So I subtract 4/9 outside and I multiply it by 9, the a value. After I clean up all my work, my final vertex form is 9 times the group x minus 2/3 squared minus 54. And we continue the algebra, add 54 to each side. Going to divide by 9. Take the square root. Square root of 6 is simplified. There are no perfect square factors of 6, so positive 6 equals x minus 2/3, and negative square root of 6 equals x minus 2/3. So my final zeros are square root of 6 plus 2/3 and negative